fellow carbon-based bipeds. I am Scott Rose, and you are watching Explosions and Stuff. Today, for Top 10 on the 10th, I'll be covering my top 10 movies that I reviewed in 2016. But first, a word from our sponsors. The rules of this top 10 list, they're pretty simple. Here we go. Number 1, these are the top 10 movies that I reviewed in 2016. So if it's not a movie that I didn't review in 2016, it's not eligible to be on the list. It's fairly simple. It wouldn't meet the requirements of the list. So I have to have reviewed it in 2016 for it to even be eligible to be on this list. Number 2, I'm only doing one movie per franchise. So if there's a movie that if I've reviewed like 3 movies in a franchise, like I did with a bunch of Andy Sedaris movies, I reviewed 3 of them, and they were all sequels to the one before it. Only one of them could be on the list because the other 2 were sequels, and they're all in the same franchise. So only one movie per franchise. Rule number 3. This isn't the most well-made movies. These are the movies that I found to be the most entertaining for one reason or another. So, like, the camera work or the acting in one movie might be absolute crap. However, it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I laughed my butt off. It was so funny and amazing and entertaining that it would be higher than a better-made movie. That is a possibility. And number 4, these are all my opinions. So you may disagree with it, that's fine. If you do, let me know in the comments below. So this is probably the hardest list I have ever had to make in my life. So for that reason, I included some honorable mentions, because they are really good movies, but they just didn't make the top 10 material. So here they are, the honorable mentions. First of all, we have Super Fights, which is about this kid who's fantasizing about this world of the super fighters who are kind of like professional wrestlers but with martial arts, and he gets into the world of super fighters and he's competing in competition and fighting all these guys and everything like that, and oh no, it turns out to be an organized crime syndicate, and they're dealing drugs and they're doing contracting hits to kill people. The movie is fantastic. Now this is one of those movies you have to understand, it's a love letter to like those cheesy kung fu movies from the 70s, but it's still got that late 80s, early 90s feel to it. And it is fantastic. Easily should have been on this list, but just there were other movies that were slightly better than it, so it just got bumped down a little bit. Also, we have Ring of Steel, another fantastic movie. This is about a guy who's a fencer, but he accidentally kills somebody in competition. So he's like, oh no, I can never fence again. I'm too shamed. I cannot compete in fencing tournaments. Whatever shall I do? Because fencing is my life. Oh, crying. Well, anyway, he finds this underground sword fighting tournament, which he thinks is kind of like a fencing club, but with different styles and different weapons. But turns out it's live blade. They're really killing each other and hurting each other. And some of them are fights to the death, so he's trying to get out of it and compete because they kidnapped his girlfriend, but they won't let her go. They'll kill her if he doesn't compete and fight, which is kind of like a trope storyline, but it's happened so many times, but they pulled it off well. Yes, the acting in this movie is pretty friggin' stiff and horrible, but the fight scenes, the fencing is fantastic. These people were fencers before they were actors, and they did just a fantastic job in this movie. Third honorable mention we have is Drive Hard. Now this is another great movie with Thomas Jane and John Cusack. John Cusack is this hitman robber kind of guy, and Thomas Jane is like this former race car driver turned driving instructor. And John Cusack hires him to drive for him. They're driving around, and oh no, he robbed a bank and killed some people. We have to run for our lives. Whatever shall we do? So they get into this Mustang and start driving all around Australia, with Thomas Jane being threatened to die. John Cusack's threatened to shoot Thomas Jane and kill him if he doesn't drive for him. It is a fantastic movie, very exciting. The car chases are glorious, but what really makes this movie great is the interaction and the dialogue between John Cusack and Thomas Jane. So that movie had to be an honorable mention for this list. Coming in at number 10, we have Extraction. Now, this is a great movie, a little unknown gem. It's a Crackle exclusive movie, but you can probably find it other places. But your best chance of finding it is going to crackle.com to watch the damn thing. This is a fantastic movie. The acting is kind of stiff, but yeah, it feels like a made for TV movie. And if you get a chance to watch this without the commercials, it still has those breaks for commercials because Crackle pays for itself by running ads on its site and in its videos. So this movie has breaks for those ads to go. So if you manage to get it on like DVD or some other format where there's no ads or anything, it's going to feel like a made-for-TV movie because it practically is. It practically was made for TV. But this movie is fantastic. The fight scenes are glorious. Everything about this movie is just fantastic. The only thing it has about it is it doesn't really have any big names in it. So at times it's easy to forget about. But then once you get reminded of it, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about Extraction. That is a great movie. The fight scenes are just glorious and brutal and fantastic. I love this movie. So it's not very memorable, but it's still a great movie. And that is why Extraction comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have Dead in Tombstone. This is a fun movie. It's got Danny Trejo, Anthony Michael Hall, and these people are just fighting each other. It's glorious. It's also got Mickey Rourke in it. He plays the devil. It's kind of people. Some people think it's kind of a Crow ripoff, but in the Wild West, because Danny Trejo gets killed, goes to hell, and makes a deal with the devil. It's like, if I go back and I kill all my other partners, all these other bad guys, can I have my soul back? Can I be free from the clutches of hell? You'll get 6 other people in exchange for just losing mine. I will give you 6 souls if you let me go. And so the devil's like sends him back from the dead, and he goes out and kills all these other people that he used to be associated with. And it is just fantastic. It is a glorious movie. Really good action scenes. The acting is superb. Again, it's one of those ones where you might forget a little bit. It's a little stiff acting, but it is a fantastic movie. I don't know anyone who wouldn't like this movie unless you can't get over the similarity that it has to The Crow as far as plot goes. Some people might get hung up on that and not be able to enjoy the movie, but if you can get past that, you need to check out Dead in Tombstone, and that's why it comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have Hell Comes to Frogtown. Rowdy Roddy Piper in a post-apocalyptic future fighting humanoid frogs and trying to get laid. Do I really need to explain the plot any further than that? That sounds like a glorious movie to me. Hell yeah. Anyway, this movie is fantastic. It's a cult classic, and I understand why. This movie is great. Some people will dump on it. Some people can't get past the cheesiness and kind of the silliness of the movie. But it is fantastic if you can get past that stuff. You have to see Hell Comes to Frogtown. This is a great movie. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it. Because this is a good movie. It's a cult classic. Some people may not like it, but if you can get past the cheesiness or you just enjoy cheesy movies, you will enjoy Hell Comes to Frogtown, and that's why it comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have Deadly Prey, or as I call it, Muscular Men with Mullets. This is a cheesy, fantastic movie. This is one of those so bad it's good movies, and you need to see it if you're into that kind of movies. If you like bad movies, you need to see Deadly Prey. You've got this guy who's kidnapped. They kidnapped Mike Danton, who's like this stereotypical action hero man. I shall destroy all the enemies and rule the world and be free from your oppressive whatever the fuck it is. And this is just fantastic. He is amazing in this role. Amazingly bad. It is glorious and fantastic. You've got this guy who's running through the woods in nothing but Daisy Duke shorts and a blonde flowing mullet. It is fantastic. That's why I call this movie Muscular Men with Mullets. Like a grenade explodes behind him and he flexes as he falls. This is great. This is a fantastic movie. You need to see Deadly Prey. It is glorious. And that is why it comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Another one of those so bad it's good movies. This movie was directed and written by Andy Sedaris. And if you're familiar with his work, well, you've already seen the movie, but you know what I'm talking about when I say this movie is good and cheesy and fantastic. This is a girls with guns movie. You know, it revolves around attractive women in minimal clothing, shooting guns and blowing stuff up, and occasionally being topless. You're gonna know if you're into that kind of thing or not. You already know if you want to see the movie. If you enjoy that kind of movie, you will enjoy this movie. It's that simple. Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I mean, a lot of people love it. It is possibly his most famous movie of all time. It's easily one of the top movies in the Girls with Guns genre. Easily one of the top movies in that genre. And the acting is actually pretty good. It's on par with what you'll see in soap operas, but it's still good enough to be entertaining and get the story across and capture your attention for a bit. This is a fun movie. It's an entertaining movie. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's meant to have fun and be fun, and it knows exactly what it is. And that is why Hard Ticket to Hawaii comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, we have Lone Hero. This is a great modern-day Western. You've got Lou Diamond Phillips and Sean Patrick Flanery headlining this fantastic movie with Lou Diamond Phillips as the bad guy and Sean Patrick Flanery as the good guy. You've got this biker gang who comes into town, this little small western town that does Wild West shows and things like that to earn its keep. And you got this biker gang that comes into town and just ransacks the place. And then you've got one of the actors from the Wild West show who's like, no, I won't let you do this. Citizen's arrest. I arrest you and lock you up. And then all hell just breaks loose. The rest of the biker gang comes into town and starts tearing stuff up, trying to get their leader out of jail and kill the guy who arrested him and did the citizen's arrest, trying to kill Sean Patrick Flanery's character. This is a fantastic movie. It's a modern-day Western. I had to watch it twice just to realize how much of a modern-day Western this movie really is. It's even got the riding off into the sunset thing at the end. This is fantastic. This is a great movie, and it establishes the guy, Lou Diamond Phillips, as a villain right away and does a fantastic job of it. If you enjoy biker movies, if you enjoy Western movies, you will like Lone Hero, and that's why it comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have The Perfect Weapon, starring Jeff Speakman and a bunch of other guys whose names I don't care about and who don't matter. Really, you just want to see Jeff Speakman in this movie kicking ass and taking names. He does a fantastic job of it. This is the movie that introduced me to Jeff Speakman, and he is just fantastic. He does a great job. The fight scenes are fantastic. The plot is glorious. The acting is good for what it is. Let's be honest, Jeff Speakman is a little stiff because he's primarily a martial artist and then an actor. Martial artist first. But the action scenes, the fight scenes in this movie make up for just how stiff the acting is. This is a great movie. I recommend this to everyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a 3-year-old child or you're not even born yet. You have to see The Perfect Weapon. It is glorious. It is fantastic. It is a great, amazing movie. And that's why it comes in on this list at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have Arena. Now, this is a great movie. This is a fantastic movie. Beautiful fight scenes, beautiful action, great plot, great acting. This kind of movie is the reason I started this channel to begin with, to give movies like this more exposure. I know I'm not that big or anything like that, but getting titles like this out there, just sharing this information with people, is the reason I started this channel, to let people know about movies like Arena, with these great action scenes, this great acting, this great plot. Yeah, the special effects are kind of cheesy, but they're supposed to be. I mean, this is a fantastic movie, and it didn't go to theaters. This is the kind of movie people need to watch. This is the kind of movie that needs to go to theaters, because the people who made it did an amazing job with it. This is the kind of movie I want to see. I'm sick of the crap that goes to theaters. I want to see stuff like this. This is the kind of movie people need, that people want, that people crave. Not this blockbuster bullshit that keeps coming out. Watch movies like Arena. I know I kind of went off on a rant that's unrelated to the movie, and I just talked about how shitty movies in theaters are, but this is the kind of movie that started this channel, that inspired this channel, to tell people about movies like this. You need to watch Arena, and that's why it comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have Standoff. Thomas Jane and Lawrence Fishburne and this little girl whose name I can't remember, honestly. They're just playing this cat and mouse game in this house, and it's fantastic. It's not really an edge-of-your-seat action-packed thriller or anything like that. It's a slow burn. It's a cat and mouse game. I'm surprised I love this movie as much as I do. But this is one of those movies. Actually, it is the movie that showed me just how important things like lighting and set design are. I realized those things because of this movie. It is a fantastic movie. This is easily on my top 10 movies of all time. That's how good of a movie this is. The trailer is kind of misleading. The trailer makes it seem like it's this edge-of-your-seat, action-packed joyride the entire time with lots of gunfights and stuff like that and torture and stuff. But it's not. It's a slow burn cat and mouse game. And it's great at that. It feels claustrophobic because the entire movie takes place in this one house. It is a great movie. You need to check it out. It is easily on my top 10 movies of all time. And that's why Standoff had to come in at number 2. And my number 1 movie that I reviewed in 2016? Tracks. Let's be honest. This is the one movie I had nothing bad to say about. It was going to be on this list. It was going to be number 1. I had nothing bad to say about it in my review of this movie. It is great. It is fantastic. It's one of those movies where you need to know that it's kind of a satire of the over-the-top action movies like Rambo and Commando and things like that. This is a fun movie. It's a great movie. It's an entertaining movie. It's got cheesy jokes. It's silly. It's fun to watch. It is just straight up enjoyable. I love this movie. It's also one of my top 10 movies of all time, and it's the only movie I reviewed that I didn't have anything bad to say about. It's gonna be number 1. It has my number 1 explosion death of all time. Of all time. It has got this beautiful, amazing, and just fantastic explosion death that is my favorite explosion death of all time. You need to see Tracks, and that's why it came in at number 1. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel for new action movie reviews posted every week and top 10 lists posted on the 10th of every month. Also, if you have any recommendations for things you would like me to cover in the future, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you, and have a nice day.